Today we are going to be talking about depression and how it affects the brain. So, we all know someone, whether it be a friend, family member, or maybe yourself, that has depression. There's a stigma that goes with this mental illness along with many others. I would like to break through all the negative that goes with depression and hopefully see it in a new light. Depression should be something we don't keep quiet and never talk about. It should be something we raise awareness about and how it affects a person's brain and how a chemical imbalance may be to blame. Depression is a chemical imbalance in the brain. There's either low levels of serotonin or there's no serotonin in the brain. And serotonin is the chemical that basically produces happiness. And so when people don't have that kind of chemical in their brain, it causes depression. Depression is where people constantly feel down, they don't want to get out of bed. Sometimes the person will stop eating or overeat. Overeating can lead to obesity, and undereating can lead to severe underweight or possibly death. Now, according to Panksepp and Watt, in an article they wrote in 2011, what can effective neuroscience add to the discussion of the genesis of depression? Among other contributions, it may begin to answer the question of why depression feels so bad. Since it is the only basic neuroscience approach that specifically aims to take the affective infrastructure of the evolved mind as its central focus, it offers testable hypotheses concerning the affective imbalances that contribute to clinical depression. A critical question about genesis of depression is which negative effect generating networks of minimal brains are most important for understanding depressive pain, and what new therapeutics might such knowledge engender. And that is from Psychiatry, Interpersonal and Biological Processes, Volume 74, Issue 1. There are very many different types of depression. The most common is major depressive disorder, also called MDD. In 2017, the percentage of people with depression was 3.4%, which basically roughly 2 to 6% of people. That percentage loosely translates to about 264 million people in the world. The National Institute of Mental Health estimate that 16.2 million U.S. adults had at least one major depressive episode in 2016. It's my cat, sorry. Depression is most common in ages 18 to 25, although it can occur in a later age in life. Current treatments for depression today are basically inadequate. That's why a lot of neuroscientists and a lot of people are studying neurobiology of it. In 1965, A German scientist suggested that depression was associated with low levels of norepinephrine. Later, more researchers theorized that serotonin was the neurotransmitter of interest. So, without serotonin, we don't get that interest to go and do things like someone who doesn't have depression. When someone has depression and they are pregnant, they struggle so much because they must stop taking the medicine. They must keep the medicine they have. They must keep the fetus safe and healthy. Pregnancy does not safeguard women against depressive illness. The Edinburgh Postnatal Depression Scale is an effective screening tool to identifying women with depressive symptoms during pregnancy. Once diagnosed with major depression, these patients need to be monitored closely for up to a year after delivery. Patients with mild to moderate illness should be referred to psychotherapy, but more severely ill patients might require additional treatment with antidepressants. So, in closing, depression is very serious, and if you know anyone with it, tell a trusted adult. Depression is not a bad thing, and it is not the person's fault. They were born with depression genes that may run in their family, or they were born with a chemical imbalance. Everyone we meet or encounter, we should always be kind, say nice words, make their day a little better. Depression should no longer be something to be kept quiet and secret. Depression is something to talk about now. So we should open up those floodgates and break the stigma, break the silence, and save lives, help those who need it the most. Mental illness is now something we all support and raise awareness for, and for the people who need it.